I hadn't given the situation that I now find myself in much thought before. I never planned for it. Before today, it always seemed like something that could only happen to someone else. But here I am, homeless. Of course, I had warning signs. Deep down, I knew it would happen. But I felt that my preparation of my impending circumstance would only ensure its inevitability. It made sense to me at the time. It's getting late, and I have nowhere to sleep. For the first time in my life, I don't know what to do for shelter. Such a basic instinct that most other creatures are born with, but here I am, helpless. I've been walking for hours, but I have finally found myself in downtown. It's an old downtown that has been left to rot after the rise of the mall. The irony. It was an old abandoned record store, judging from what decals remain on the storefront window and the decor that adorned the walls inside. It was the only place that looked inviting, yet uninhabited by other people more experienced in their situation than I was. The door was unlocked, surprisingly. The shelves are almost empty, save for a few obscure records. Joe Finger's car and his ragtime band. The slip made me force a somewhat insincere chuckle. I don't know who I was trying to fool by feigning such social interactions with nobody. Behind the counter, there was a door that led to what seemed to be an office. There's not much in here, just a big desk and a couple of tall file cabinets. One had been knocked over and was leaning on the other, but has yet to complete a full domino effect. I found a bundle of newspapers under the desk. It's too dark to try to read the date on them, but judging by how brittle they are, I'd guess they're a couple of decades old. I used one of them to dust off the desk and several others to make some sort of blanket. The rest of the bundle served as a pillow. The desk seemed like the best place to sleep. Less of a chance of waking up to things scurrying across my body to get from one end of the room to the other. The newspapers rustle as I try to keep them all contained on top of my body, but when I am all situated and my squirming stopped, a deafening silence fell over the entire building. I closed my eyes. I don't know when it occurred to me that there was a stench. Perhaps it had always been, but only now have I become aware of it. It smelled faintly like formaldehyde and mildew. It was such a faint smell that I thought I might be able to ignore it, but that was before. A sensation fell over me, like white noise that couldn't be heard, only felt, and it could only be felt in the sense that memories are felt. I could only feel it in my mind. I've felt this before. It's the feeling of someone watching me. I open my eyes and dart them around the room. It's very dark, but it's not pitch black. Some ambient light is scattered around from a street light shining through a tiny frosted window, but in the corner where the wall adjacent to that window meets the ceiling, it is pitch black. It's the only spot in the room that I can't see at all. I focus on it. It seems to be larger than it was when I first noticed it. I try to play it off as perhaps my eyes not adjusting from glancing from the window to the corner. I close my eyes again. The stench is getting heavier. It's sickening and becoming more and more difficult to ignore. I entertain the idea of getting out and finding someplace else to sleep. I open my eyes. The black corner has grown even larger. It grows as I watch it now. It begins to make a sound. It sounds like the low reverberations of a distant foghorn or heavy metal being slowly scraped across the floor in a big empty room. The sound is quiet yet powerful. Its rumble causes the bile to dance in my gut. Wide-eyed and terrified, I watch as limbs begin to appear from the dark of the corner. They unfold from the blackness to reveal that it was the blackness all along. Its limbs are long like a spider monkey's, and either hair or rotted flesh dangle from them. It braces itself in the corner as its head rises up from behind it. I can't tell if it's looking at me, but it no doubt knows I'm here. It can hear my heart beating so hard against the newspapers that it makes the sound of running on dry leaves. It slowly crawls down to the floor where I lose sight of it for just a moment before its elbows appear above the edge of the desk and pulls itself up with insect-like movements. Its head is disproportionately larger than its body and takes the form of an old man. It has only scarred, wrinkled flesh where its eyes should be, and its mouth is wide open, screaming. The sound that it has been making is the sound of its screams. It draws closer, climbing over me. Its limbs are so long it can still reach the floor on both sides of the desk. It reaches my face, still screaming, inches away from my face. The vibration of its screams makes my insides feel like they're shifting. I feel nauseous. It stops. It stops screaming. It stops, though it isn't silent. It makes long, labored gasps of air while it stares eyeless at me. It leans in close to my ear. I have been. It takes a long, pained gasp of air before continuing. Searching for you, the creature says with a harsh, raspy whisper. I can't contain my trembling fear and I begin to cry. You have? The creature exposes jagged, rotten teeth as it grins like it's about to devour the useless, sniveling wretch that lie before it. Yes, it says. Why me? It takes another long, whining gasp of air. We've been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended warranty. Guys, how do I tell them to take me off their list?